Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Into the Ether with Luna Live. Today on 420. Happy 420, everybody. Let's just have a few breaths. Deep inside your lungs and your soul. Happy 420. International Weed Day. So happy 420, everybody. Today, 420, I am celebrating many things. Of course, 420, International Weed Day, the Tree of Life, the herb that connects you to God, we are all one. All right. So while I partake of my spiritual medicine right now, celebrating 420, I would like to share with you one of the latest things that I have learned from the universe. And it's actually quite beautiful. And it is called the art of soaring. So basically what it is, it's an ancient Russian shamanic spiritual magic technique to overcome anything that no longer serves you, or anything that you want to heal. For instance, relationships, personal relationships, loving relationships, co-worker relationships, job relationships, relationships with your kids, relationships with yourself, regarding, for instance, addictions, or anything that no longer serves you. So this ancient knowledge coming from Russia says that when you connect with your inner child, with the pristine origin and characteristics of your inner child, that one with each, which is imagination and laughter, you have a high chance and like a high potential to heal your fears and to heal those things that are holding you back through laughter, because they believe that through changing our inner world, we change our reality. We already know this very much, my beautiful audience. Every single person that is listening to this right now knows that you are creating your own reality through the thoughts and feelings and the vibration which you are, let's say, radiating at the frequency right at that moment. So what this beautiful ancient Russian technique is called, and the name of the book is called The Art of Soaring. The Art of Soaring. Sorry, I don't have the name of the author right now, but for sure it's Vladimir, because it's Russian. It's like having a Maria in South America. So for sure, the author's name starts with Vladimir. And the name of the book is The Art of Soaring. And the translator is Leo Shaskarenin or something like that. He's the editor of all the books of the series of Anastasia, written by Vladimir Megre. He's a quite, how do you say? Knowledge professor of the linguist, and happy 420, by the way. So the art of soaring, an ancient technique coming from the elders, from the shamans, from the knowers of everything, and the healers from ancient Russia. And that is connecting to your inner child and healing your fears through laughter. So, for instance, if you have a challenging relationship with your partner or your boss or your child or whatever it is, your neighbor, you just grab that. The technique is that you just grab that perceived circumstance or perceived problem or challenge, and you grab it, and then you extrapolate it to the worst. It could be jealousy. It could be anything that triggers your demons and your fears. So you just like totally grab the situation and extrapolate it to the worst. Like to the worst, just imagine the worst scenario, and then you go and imagine the worst, and then from that imagine the worst, and then imagine the worst, and then imagine the worst, and so on, and you just exaggerate it and exaggerate the situation with your imagination. You can bring fairies, ETs, bombs, whatever, like whatever your imagination wants to bring into the situation. You bring it on into the situation, thinking about what's the possible situation about this fear that I have or this situation that is triggering me. And then you just escalate it to an extravagant point of view that is just like comes so, until a point that it comes just like so laughable. And you can't help just but to laugh about the situation and the outcome of extrapolating this fear to the worst. Whether if you are in a financial situation, then you just imagine that you are living under the bridge, and then you meet there some gangs and this and that and this and that, and then you extrapolate everything to the worst, and it just extrapolated to extravagant imagination that comes to a situation when it really, at some point, when you bring your imagination to the worst case scenario that your fear, that you are imagining in the situation, and you come to the fear and you extrapolate it, for sure, it comes a point that you are totally in laughter about the situation. Like in tears and laughter about how the situation has turned out to be. And then, my beautiful audience, is when the healing occurs. The healing occurs once you extrapolate this fear with your imagination into the worst case scenarios until it becomes laughable. And then when it becomes laughable is when you connect into this energy of laughter and hold on to it and rejoice into it. It's a huge laughter that has been born from one of your most deepest fears or situations that are robbing your peace away. So when this situation becomes laughable, you just hold on into that and hold on and just feel it and rejoice into it. And then on in the future, if by any chance, because usually the situation is healed as soon as you laugh about it, is healed because you change your vibrational field. You raise up your vibration by bringing the situation of fear into laughter, so it totally loses power. But if by any chance you need some more time to heal the situation, and the situation and the fear and the anger and the contraction arises at any single moment, then you just easily tapped into that feeling and remembrance and imagination and laughter when you extrapolated this fear into the worst case scenario, extravagant and absurd, until it became laughable. So every single time that you get triggered by the fear or the situation, the relationship, the fear, the financial stress, the addiction, whatever it is, then you just tapped into this imagination and the laughter. And this ancient Russian knowledge says that once you connect into laughter, is connecting into your inner child, and immediately you change the outcome from within. Because once you have found laughter about your fear and about your situation or whatever it is, you have already pierced through many layers of vibration that are already bringing the healing into the situation. Most of the time, the healing is immediate. But if it's not, and if there's still reminiscence of that fear and that trigger, the healing is still happening, because once you laugh about the situation, you are already in a higher state of vibration and feeling that is not going to allow lower vibration thoughts to come into the situation, because laughter and gratitude and laughter, I always believe that laughter is gratitude. Gratitude and laughter, they might be connected, but I believe that once you laugh about your own fears, when you extrapolate them to the worst, you erase the situation. You're no longer you're no longer a slave of the situation. So it totally loses power. So it helps with relationships. It helps with addictions. It helps with states of being. One of the authors, I mean, not the author, but the translator of the book, says that how can I express that? I think I'm seeming to losing my language over here. Basically, what he is suggesting is that one of the easiest ways to deal with your personal situations, wherever they come from, doesn't matter where it is, jealousy, health. Oh yes, health. That's exactly what he was talking about. For instance, if you are depressed, then you can just grab the situation and not necessarily laugh about it or extrapolate it to the worst, but just grab the situation and infuse it with energy of gratitude and say, hey, beautiful depression, look how much time you take on my life. I love you. You're here with me all the time. My constant companion. I adore you so much. You never leave me alone. And so on and so on. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can come up with your own loving words or sarcastic words. It really doesn't matter, whatever it is, and then you just genuinely, sarcastically, gratitudely, and a combination of many things, trying to fake it until you make it and bring a lot of gratitude into this situation. And like for instance, okay, for instance, just to be vulnerable right here. Vulnerability. My dark side, and the thing that, not my dark side, but the lesson, one of the lessons that I have come to, that I have to learn in this lifetime is my addiction to cigarettes. That has been quite challenging. So for instance, I just learned this beautiful healing power from Russia, from ancient Russia, about bringing laughter into a situation, or gratitude for your depression or your addiction or your physical condition or your economic situation or whatever it is. So, or jealousy or whatever it is. So regarding my addiction to cigarette, or I'm not saying mine, okay, let's say it's the addiction to cigarette. I I have been trying for the last 24 hours. Imagine, it has actually been quite challenging because I have tried to imagine a situation that it becomes laughable, and it's actually never laughable. So that's tough to realize that. But I say, okay, what could be laughable about cigarettes, or how can I like be grateful? So in a sarcastic, loving way, and just thank my beautiful addiction and say, look, how much beautiful life energy do you take away from me? You are such a lover. You take so much money away from my income and everything. You take away so much time of my life force energy, smoking at the balcony or smoking at the street. Oh my God, I adore you so much. You're with me all the time. Or I don't know. It's actually quite challenging when it's about addictions to come out with something positive. But this is what I'm just sharing with you what I've been practicing regarding my own personal situation. So as soon as I was so happy, as soon as I learned about this ancient knowledge of Russia, to bring the laughter and the laughter into the situation, to light it up and bring it up more to the heart. I made a list of the fears that trigger me, or those feelings or behaviors that I believe they're no longer no longer serving me. And I made a list of them. And yesterday I sat down on the balcony and I went one by one. And I took one point, every single point that triggered me in fear or doubt or challenge in my life or whatever it is. And I grabbed one by one and I started imagining, extrapolating that fear and that situation to the worst case scenario, and bringing it more and more and more to the worst case scenario. And you can imagine, like, you can bring ETs, purple beings, bombs, phantoms, skeletons, angels, like whatever it is you bring into your imagination. So I did that. It was like 7 or 8, more or less, more around 6 or 7 things that I found in my life that no longer serve me because they might be detrimental to my body and to my vibratory, my frequency of energy, and or emotional fears or emotional attachments to the past, or desires to the future that are not necessarily the best to carry within the soul and the mind and the spirit. And I worked through them one by one, and I brought into every situation a situation of laughter, a situation of bringing that situation into the absurd. Whether it's jealousy, for example, then what is the worst case scenario between this person or this person or this person? And you just, okay, this is the worst case scenario, and you just extrapolate it to the worst and to the worst and to the worst and to the worst until it becomes laughable. And as soon as it becomes laughable, this ancient knowledge says the situation either dissolves like magic, or it would just like totally vanishes into the light. I've been practicing this, so I would like to keep you posted in the near future about how things are going. But I would say that in just 48 hours of practicing this beautiful knowledge of bringing laughter into any situation that triggers you into not being your best, it works. It works. It actually works. But I would like to research a little bit more before I get back to you into some personal examples. And at the same time, if you have the opportunity to practice this technique, please feel free to share with me. Thank you for listening. And let's smoke a joint. Let's smoke a joint. Let's smoke a joint. Let's smoke a fucking joint for today. I guess I'm not gonna smoke a joint because it's not working. But I could say happy 420 and I love you all. So let's just reconnect to that inner child and raise up our vibration by laughing at our fears. So then they no longer possess us and they no longer control us. Because through laughter is such a high frequency that then the fears can no longer coexist. So practice, my beautiful audience. I will be practicing myself, and please share with me if you have any miracles happening in your life. Happy 420 and thank you for joining me today. Cheers. I love you all.